It's Friday, the 2nd of March, 2018, and welcome to Navigating Your Day. So safety engine lock number 2 came into the universe, meaning the life force for all creatures, or wisdom. So safety engine lock number 2 enables us to connect to that life force which brings balance and integration into our lives, and that, in my belief system, brings wisdom. So it is the wisdom to know that you consist of equal parts light and shadow, and so does everybody else, and that when you have an expectation to only ever see the light and to suppress the shadow in yourself and others, then you are going to attract people, circumstances, and events in your life that help to wake you up to the fact that the shadow and the light are necessary to blend together so that you can be a fully integrated human being. 2 is also about the wisdom of appreciating that support can never happen without challenge, and that challenge can never happen without support, and that in actuality all events are neutral until somebody judges them through their own filter of reality. So I will say that you are a good person that's based on my filter of reality. So if you tick all the boxes of what I think is good based on what's important to me, I will judge you as being good. If you tick all the boxes that I think are bad based on my reality, then I will judge you as being bad. In actuality, you are a combination of good and bad, light and shadow, positive and negative. You're a combination of those, and they are in equal and opposite proportions. This is a dualistic universe that we live in, and we cannot escape these fundamental laws. So 2 enables us to see the wisdom inherent within ourselves and within the world around us, the order and the wisdom. We can appreciate the order, then we can appreciate the order within ourselves, and we can help bring ourselves to that position of order, and we can appreciate the order in the universe. 2 is, of course, the number of nurture. 2 is about nurturing others. It's about nurturing yourself. It's about maintaining that balance of nurturing yourself and nurturing others. So today, we really have an opportunity to connect with that energy of self-nurture in order to provide ourselves with enough resource so that we can, in turn, nurture others. We have the 3 of March, which is a fire number, so we have a diametrically opposed element here. We've got the 2, which is water, we've got the 3, which is fire, and those diametric elements can produce tension. So 3 is about getting it done, moving ahead, soldiering on, and 3 is very much inherently associated with beliefs. So if you have an open and expansive belief system, then you can appreciate that light and shadow exists and that people are actually neutral, and so are events and circumstances more easily. If you are in the more shadow aspect of the 3, then you become very contracted, and that contraction then means that your way is the only way, and you think that everyone needs to believe what you believe, and if everyone just stuck to your rules and your way of doing things, then the world would be a better place, and you can become very, very controlling and very dictatorial. We, of course, also have the 2 from 2018. So we've got a preponderance of water, and then we've got this fire number in the middle. So the 2s are trying to be altruistic. They're trying to be nurturing. They're trying to be nurturing of self and others. They're trying to appreciate the wisdom. 3 allows us to expand. It allows us to expand our minds and to expand our thoughts into the possibility that actually everything could be neutral, even though it's very difficult with our lower minds or our egoic minds to appreciate the truth of that, because our egoic minds want to separate things into good and bad, into, you betrayed me, or you did it wrong, or judgment and criticism. That comes from our egoic nature not wanting to appreciate this universal neutrality. The 3 can either make us more intractable and make us more adherent to our belief system and try and force our belief systems on other people. This is what fundamentalist religious groups try to do. Or anything that's a fundamentalist way of thinking. You can be a fundamentalist, meat eater, or you can be a fundamentalist vegan, or you can be a fundamentalist Christian, or you can be a fundamentalist Buddhist, or you can be a fundamentalist Muslim. Fundamentalism is polarized thinking, effectively, thinking that there's only one right way and that everything that is not that way is wrong. So that's the potential of the 3. But the opposite is this expansiveness, being able to expand your awareness to such an extent that you can appreciate that everything actually is there and for a reason and is part of the natural order. So the hero today is the 7. And the 7 is the independent thinker. The 7 is the road less traveled kind of person. The 7 is the one that doesn't bow to convention. The 7 is the one in this position that actually gives us the ability to break the confines of belief systems and structures that we've imbibed essentially since our childhood. And the 7 helps us to appreciate that in actual fact, maybe those restrictions, those bonds that we've placed on our minds are not necessarily true, and enables us to choose our own path, enables us to buck the system if we have to, but not necessarily. It's not about bucking the system. It's not about being rebellious. It's about being true to yourself and not being a follower, but being your own natural leader, and not just being part of the herd, but thinking for yourself and taking the road that is right for you. So that is the hero of the 7 today. In the villain position, we have the 9. So the 9 in the villain position can be extremely stubborn. So if we have the balanced wisdom view of the 2s that we have in the root of the life map, if we have this expansive strategist creative thinking 3 in operation, if we can connect to that part of ourselves that is deeply connected to our higher selves, which is the 7, and therefore are able to forge our own path and our own way, and at the same time allow everyone else to have their own path and their own way without us having to try and impose our will on them, then the 9 in this villain position will have less of an effect on us. If, however, we start becoming intractable, we want to do it our way, we think our way is the only way, we want everyone to follow the same path, we want to choose our path, but then we want everyone else to follow us on that path, then we can connect to that intractable stubbornness of the 9. In other words, we can stick to our guns even though they do no longer serve us. We can also become overly dramatic. We can stubbornly refuse to expand. If we've had a particular worldview and we have an opportunity to now adopt a more expansive worldview, that 9 in the villain position may prevent us from doing it just because of sheer stubbornness. So you do need to be aware of that and guard against that today. Safety energy lock number 2 is located on your ring finger. So if you hold the ring finger, you help to harmonize safety energy lock number 2. You help to bring the light and the shadow together. You help to integrate more fully. You help to connect to that caring nature, which allows you to care for yourself as well as to care for other people. And you harmonize deep sadness and grief. I hope you have an amazing Friday, and I'll speak to you again on Monday.